Okay. And I think we can skip now.
Okay. This is a
Huh.
bunch of choices again.
Do it for the greater good? Let's see.
Yeah, that you're right. Do it for greater good. Uh, he should be stopped. It is the right thing to do.
Is it really? It is easy to say that. But what do you really want?
I think we went with all the like vindictive type of things, so I'm gonna go with to stop him from hurting more people.
Yes.
Yep, let's see. He must be stopped. If he will not stop, there will be more victims in the future. He has grown in pride and greed. Also, did you read? Were you reading? Was I the only one reading?
Yes.
He's fucked up. That was some fucked up shit. No telling what he will do in the future. He is nothing but a monster, a rabid dog that must be put down.
But is it really the right thing?
Yes.
Is death the only way to change him?
Probably.
Let's go with maybe not.
Maybe not. Maybe not. But must we risk it? He has become haughty and powerful. Soon enough, this power will drive him mad. Or already has, more like it.
Am I not like him, Mother? I am also a monster. We are the same. No, you are not.
You are not a monster. I have raised you, guided you, and loved you enough. All my sacrifices were for you. I sacrificed the time necessary to beat you with a giant wooden cross, and you didn't even appreciate it.
You're right. I'm such a bad daughter.
Stop you from turning into something like him. Oh, I was always afraid. Always. Always. But you are my dear daughter. He may be a monster, but you are not. Because of me. Because of a mother's love for her child. Now that you know his true face, there is only one thing to do. Kill him.
No. Good on you, Rosa, for standing up.
No. Dad, I actually have a convincing case for once to tell you to do something. And this is when you tell me no?
I think he can change. Perhaps I might still be able to save him.
Oh, yes. This always works. You know, abusive person just, you're so good. I'm sure that he will just, stop abusing people because you're just so nice. I know dozens of people like this.
Oh, I'm sure you're well acquainted with it. That's why I should just continue to listen to you and not make my own decision. He will not
I'm aware of my hypocrisy, woman.
He will not listen to you. He will never change.
Okay, he'll never change. Yeah, I mean, you cannot change him, child. That is his nature. That kind of creature has no redemption.
Yes, but isn't he a creature of love? So am I. Love, no matter how lonely and depraved, always gives all of itself. Only I can understand. Only Only I can save him.
This is...
That is why I want to try. This is weird territory because, I mean, on one hand, we can look at it through the spectrums of love as we understand it, but then there is also the supernatural element, which is something we can't really entirely apply real world morality in situations to.
I mean, in theory, we're talking about embodiments of real life emotional concepts, so we can at least infer a significant amount about it. Like, if these are supposed to be the Cupids are supposed to be embodiments of human love, then we can imply how that we can expect them to interact supernaturally based on that.
Because, I mean, like, let's look at it this way. I'm still not entirely sure if Rosa is a Cupid.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
Assuming she is, the biggest issue they have is that they will kill those people that they love. But is there a possibility that they can feed on one another without necessarily taking away their lives? If that chance was presented, then I think there is a possibility that he could change.
This is bringing up the question of, did he begin to do the abusive and evil things because of the depravity forced upon him by the way that he exists, i.e., he is evil because he has to end up destroying everyone that he cares about?
I think that's a very real possibility, because, I mean, you're going to end up killing these people no matter what you do. So after repeatedly seeing that over and over and over again to people that, even to people you genuinely fall in love with, I think there comes a breaking point in which you just say fuck it.
I mean, and that may be like the reason why he's waned back and forth as to the amount of cruelty he has. But
I guess we'll just have to see. That is why I want to try. What do you intend to do?
Okay, that's what we're gonna pick?
Yeah.
Because I think this is a completely new choice.
Yeah, it is.
The spell cannot be reversed now. It is dangerous to leave it unfinished.
I will light Agape and make him remember. Will that even work?
Okay. What if it doesn't work, child? Agape is a blessing, not a curse. A monster of his caliber will only shrug it off. And what will become of you then? Please don't do this.
Trust in me, Mother.
I haven't ever before.
I will do the right thing.
You? What could you possibly hope to do, you dumb child? You are ignorant, naive. Look at this. Just a brainless, dangerously idealistic girl with her head up in books and fiction in her own ass. There's no happy ending in this life, you worm. You bring me to so much pain.
Good.
It's okay, I like it. I
That's
should have
not good.
abandoned you years ago.
You cannot hurt me any longer, Mother. I know that you love me. You are my memory. As much, I want to remember you as the one person who cared for me. You who stayed with me despite my burden to your soul.
Yes,
Not the tainted
right.
woman who abused me. It is my fault you act this way. Your voice is my own insecurities and my own pain. Now, Not anymore.
How dare you degrade me into an apparition? I am real. Real is... Man, I don't have anything good. I think I was about to say real is your tits, but, like, I don't even... Listen to me!
You have called me a good person before.
I fucked that one
You
up.
believe... You believe in me, don't you, Mother? You have guided me well. Believe in me. Believe that I am doing the right thing. I love you. I love you so much. But I cannot follow all your wishes anymore. Let me make my own decisions from now on. Plead.
Plead. My darling stupid child. I know that you are strong now. But please, are you not going to avenge me? Wouldn't you do that for me?
Revenge? Is that what you really want? Will that give you peace you seek? I don't know. Let's save. Another save.
Okay, yes.
I don't know.
Okay. I don't know. What else?
I do not think revenge is what you really want.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You are a part of me, Mother. You are me. You simply crave punishment. You crave atonement. Is it not true?
I've somehow gotten your dialogue lines. Darling, what will become of me now without my role to guide you? Can you really make it on your own?
Of course, Mother. I will still listen to you and love you. But my mind is clear. I am capable. I will save him whether you allow me to or not. Why?
Yeah, I agree. Why are you making an effort to save him? After all that he has done?
Because I am all that he has left.
But you have seen what he really is. You have seen his true, ugly face.
We are all ugly.
Maybe you.
I want to believe that there's something worth saving in him as well. After all, Mother, where would I be if you had not seen beauty in me too? I'm sorry, Mother.
That was a generous statement.
I know you hate him from the bottom of your heart.
And the
But
top.
I have already forgiven him. Like how I have already forgiven you. I understand.
I could not stop you from feeling this way, can I?
I will try to save him from himself because that's what I'm supposed to do. Perhaps that is the reason why I was sent his way. I got to spend years with him and have memories of him. He taught me how to be strong. I was happy knowing him. It is more than I can ask.
You do not know that he does
You
not
do
feel
know.
this. Yep, it's like the sentence is not working right. You do know that he does not feel the same way about you. He does not love you, child.
Yes. That makes me better than him. because I love him without asking for anything in return.
Which is, this is an interesting point. That line clearly ties back to the whole agape thing. That's the
Conditional
whole
love.
definition of agape love, is that it's a love that has no requisite. It's it doesn't ask for anything. It exists without that. So it's interesting that this is being associated with the agape candle being lit.
A concept that has never yet crossed his mind. Oh, so be it.
So be it. I didn't even care if you wanted revenge anyway. Baka. Just know that he is powerful and full of pride. He will not take kindly to being bound by magic.
We can only hope, Mother. Please take care of yourself.
I am always here in your memories, my dear. Whatever happens. Please take care of yourself.
Thank you, Mother.
My beautiful daughter.
I love you. Achievement unlocked, the promise and the talk. Chapter 8, which I think we didn't get last time. Or, yeah, maybe...
We did.
I know there was like an entire chapter that we didn't get.
Yeah.
Alright.
What in me is dark? No light, but rather darkness visible.
But that is not me. What is in me is not me. I fought with it, lived with it, survived. Yet we become what we subdue. If this is true, then I was never myself. I'm not a monster.
Then what are you?
Is that Catherine?
I don't know.
Tired.
Oh. Yes. What made you think it was Catherine before the line came up?
Because the image is the image of her in the dress during the performance.
It is?
Yeah.
I don't have an image at all.
It's like very faded. It's like you can't see her face at all. It's just like the very center of her dress and the gloves.
Oh, okay. I had to shove it on my other monitor to be able to see it. My bigger monitor is actually a much crappier one, but it's bigger. So, okay. I can't even remember Catherine's voice. Did you even really love me? Or were you just hungry?
It is hard to divide that line sometimes. Hunger hovers over every action I take. Maybe I was bored.
That's sweet of you, Gilly. Truly, marvelously classy.
What are you doing in my dream, Catherine?
I came to punch you in your ugly fucking face, you two-timing piece of shit bastard. And then perhaps say goodbye.
Pain wells up in my throat, and I answer it with anger. Goodbyes are pointless. I have no need for them. You're just another voice in my conscience that will fade away in time.
No, I am not. You're still a fucking bastard, mind you. But I love you still.
And I loved you. But does that matter now? I will love another one quite like you in the future.
You know, I can always tell when you're lying to me. Your mouth does this little twitch, and your nose flares up like you smell something bad, and your lips are moving.
That man you knew is gone. He was nothing but an illusion you yourself designed, my dear. I only adapt.
Then why do you still do it? How can I still tell you're lying?
I'm not.
Bullshit. Liar.
You are holding a telescope.
I don't see it.
Sagittarius is over there. I laughed, pointing your hand to the right to the night sky. Beneath this blanket of stars, the brightest one was sitting right beside me. Would you believe me if I say I never meant to kiss you? But I'm glad I did. I had hoped you wouldn't see my hand shake. In your eyes, I feel like I am somebody worth loving. I am a lie, but that was the truth.
The arrow you struck my heart with worked both ways. Man Chow. I have loved you since I was a child. And you had to keep this mask on for years, longer than you usually have to. But you see, when you become something for a long time, it imprints on you like a seed. Maybe you liked keeping this face, Man Chow.
Your cat died today, and we buried it in my garden. You were crying so hard nobody could comfort you. Candies or sweets and bribes never worked. In my desperation, I said, "Everything dies," as if that was a truth worthy to be told to a child. Did you know that the baker's dog also died? Things die, so please don't be upset. Your eyes stared up at me. To my surprise, you began to laugh.
Hilly, you're such an idiot. The baker's dog also died. Are you really trying to cheer me up? You really suck at this.
I shifted uncomfortably in my boots, but your laughter had you in stitches.
You took away my love, but you can't take away my memories.
Memories falter and die. When you have lived as long as I have, memories are cheap. Love is cheap, Catherine. So would you please leave me now? I don't want to remember you anymore. I don't want this.
Once upon a time, there was a man who lost his heart. So he eats others.
I never lost it. I have always been cursed without it.
And then take mine.
Yours?
Take my love with you until the end of time. You will never go hungry again.
That's not true. You hated me at the very end, like everyone else.
Well, you did ruin my life, so of course I hated you. You lied to me. You used me. But love and hate can be so similar, especially in abusive relationships. It's as simple as flipping a coin. But don't give me apathy. I want my memory to burn as bright as a star in your mind. This memory I want you to remember me by is not my body hanging lifelessly. Remember me as the child who loved you, and thankfully you didn't try and take advantage of that fact, even though you probably could have gotten away with it. Holy shit, this game. My dear Quilliam, I love you. I forgive you.
An unfamiliar bitterness washes over my tongue. It threatens to sting my eyes with tears, clenching my throat with pain. Curiously, it is a sensation almost foreign in its rarity. Love. Is it possible? Can I love a memory? Can I survive with only your love to give me sustenance? I take a step towards you. Something stirred in my dreamscape, and suddenly you are not there anymore. I see you in the distance, a semblance of your visage upon a grassy hill. The sky is dark. The moon hangs ominously upon your head.
Catherine, run!
But you cannot hear me. My legs are draped in clear jelly. In dreams, everything is slow. I cannot get to you in time. Oh, I think we have a clear image. Your face begins to change. You're Catherine. You're Amelie. You're Marcus. You're Diomedes. You're Psyche. Your head begins to snap and distort. The skin bubbles and the flesh tears to reveal the pulsing hide of the monster inside. Your glistening heart pumps in your chest. Your feathers pruned and majestic from recent feeding. Yet I am not afraid of this thing and its many mouths. Think we can... No, we can't. You're merely holding up a mirror to me. A slithering hand wraps around my neck and lifts me from the ground. The pressure tightens as I struggle. One of your tongues licks at the side of my belly, as if sampling the food before the course.
Also, once again, vor, vor, vor. Running away again. Content to starve yourself and feed off a memory. Pathetic.
You still look like Catherine. Maybe that is the most painful part. I can't bear to look at you.
Why starve yourself when there's plenty to eat? Why beg for scraps when you can gorge? Did you really think your life could change? You know better. Son of beauty, brother of night, love, that's you. You are a sickness. Wherever you will go, this shadow will haunt you. Collect your trinkets, by all means. Relive your precious memory. But know that you will be nothing more than a hypocrite. A clean man walking in a mountain of filth. Open your eyes. open them. Behold my true glorious form. Humans are insatiable.
Men and women, they are rabid for love.
Except for the aces. How many times have you been their toy?
Humans are cruel to things they desire.
I must be powerful. I must be on top. I mean, you could
I control them instead of them controlling me.
just think it. I mean, you don't have to be on top. There's power bottoms, but I mean,
He ain't for that. He's gotta be true top all the way.
those are the worst. I will not be a piece of meat. Never again.
Your face softens, and the grip on my neck drags me close to your lips. You claim my mouth with yours, and it tastes just like honey. Spit ropes between our lips.
That's a really long spit rope. It's like those kids that did that. Did you have the guys at school that did that thing where they tried to see how long that they could spit?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's what this looks like. That's sexy. Love is my sustenance. Love is my sustenance. I will take what I can because they're so willing to give. I must get rid of this dastardly spell I am under. It is playing with my mind. Catherine is gone like her memory. In the end, it doesn't even matter. This was all an old, vile magic. A cheap parlor trick. Whoever touched me will pay.
Welp. Guillaume woke up with the dream still fading from his memory. He was not in his room, but in Catherine's. This did not surprise him. Whoever cast the spell did not do so on a whim. To take him away from his sanctuary was to render him weaker. A pure white candle flickered on the table. Its flames looked as though it was ready to go out. I couldn't save you. I tried. Rosa stepped out of the shadows.
You!
Guillaume stared at her with irritation.
What is the meaning of this, Rosa? This is your doing?
She looked at him with sadness. I was too weak to save you, Guillaume.
Save me from what?
From what you are.
Handsome?
Guillaume's face crumpled into confused anger.
I didn't expect such contempt from someone I trusted.
Do you expect me to ask for your forgiveness for what I've done, sire? Because I won't. I will stand by what I did. I will do it again if I can. But such a spell requires much preparation.
You are not to do that again. Do you hear me? I will not allow myself to be subjected to such an insult.
I'm not trying to do something that petty. I'm trying to save you.
I do not know what you are talking about. If you persist in this foolish behavior, then I will be forced to take action.
Go ahead. But I will simply try again.
Stop it.
Guillaume grabbed her shoulders in irritation and shook her. They stared at each other in heavy silence, and Guillaume somewhat regretted his forcefulness. But Rosa did not flinch or look away, even at his outburst. There was no fear or fragility in her eye at all. She held her steady gaze until it was Guillaume who looked away.
Why? Why are you doing this? You should know how pointless it is.
I had to try, Guillaume. If there is a way to save you, I am inclined to take it. I had hoped Catherine's memory might work on you. Guillaume, I cast a spell to give you her memory, so you don't have to resort to feeding. Guillaume recoiled from her like her skin was scalding to the touch.
You! How did you?
Rosa just stared at him, her eye clear and resolute. I know what you are, because we are the same. We are creatures that emanate desire and feed on love. I have lived with this curse knowing only a semblance of what I am. Mother taught me how to control it, even in her own twisted way. I'm lucky, Guillaume. I wasn't alone. But you were. Rosa's eye bloomed with sadness. I can only imagine how hard that must have been. Guillaume staggered back in shock. So there was another one like him. A desperate hope clutched onto him like talons. Was that why he had taken to her so without wanting to feed on her? That's why I'm doing this, Guillaume. I wanted to give you Catherine's memory, like how Mother's memory kept me sustained, or keeps me sustained. Love doesn't have to be taken like this. There are other ways. Guillaume frowned indignantly.
Don't you think I have tried that? You're still very young, I can tell. I have already endured centuries of this curse. I know all the tricks to survive. From strangers to the villagers, I know how much I can take. I am meticulous.
Then why must you insist on this method? With no reason to stand for ceremony, Guillaume's face changed easily. Rosa's jaw clenched. She was talking to a stranger now. His face lost the virtue that once belonged to a blameless man. It was replaced by a curious, cheeky grin, a perpetual look of childlike mischief. This man irritated her, and yet somehow Rosa felt like she had known him for a lifetime. He had always been in there, hadn't he? Or rather, it had always been him.
Why? Because it is fun. And the taste is worlds better. The experience of drawing out love is unlike any human feeling. It is transcendent. It is the only moment I feel alive. The only moment I feel like a god. Once you've had a taste of it, nothing else compares. You must try it. I bet you can only afford to be righteous because you don't know any better.
You're wrong. I did it to Catherine. I tasted her love, but I was able to stop myself in time. I knew it would destroy her.
So that was you, hmm? That I knew I sensed something
You can't see, but
satisfying.
I'm squinting.
Surreptitious satisfaction. It makes sense that Catherine's love for me waned. That never happened before.
Desire can be controlled, Guillaume.
I do not wish to control it. Why should I? Admit it, you've longed for that taste since your tongue dipped in its pot. That's a terrible metaphor.
Rosa did not speak. She shifted nervously on her feet. Guillaume went on.
We are given this curse to endure, Rosa. Why must we scatter in the corner and humble ourselves? To whom do we abdicate ourselves to? To normies? They are beneath us. For all their achievements and talents, love is the one thing that can drive them mad. Don't you see? Their weakness is the one thing we feed on. It is the natural order.
Guillaume stepped closer to her and touched her bare arm. He tried to hide his bliss.
I told you before, if you need power, then be powerful. I will teach you how to wield it. You still have much to learn. If you will join me, Rosa, just imagine what we can do. We will be powerful, you and I.
Rosa's momentary confusion faded. The hard look appeared on her face once again. I will never join you. You use people for your own gain.
So?
Guillaume's voice couldn't keep from rising.
What of it? Isn't it the rule of human existence? It's all a game, Rosa. A game I play to win.
So people's lives are a game to you? Guillaume shrugged.
Of course they are. Humans use and abuse, and they throw away on a whim. They destroy for no apparent reason except that they want to. It took me the longest time to understand why. I realized it is simply their nature. Humans don't play fair, but I do. And I still get ahead.
Rosa's eye narrowed at Guillaume. How can you throw people away so easily? Don't you see that there are good people like Catherine? You're afraid to remember. You're afraid to give them the worth they deserve. You rejected her memory, content to forget her value. Guillaume was silent for a few moments. Then he gave a low snicker.
Rosa, Rosa, Rosa. That is an amusing thesis.
He looked at her dumbfounded face pitifully. Another chuckle escaped Guillaume. Guillaume couldn't help it.
You got me all wrong, Rosa. I do not undervalue people. In fact, I love them. I revere them. I am grateful. They sustain me, after all. That alone deserves all the appreciation and care I can give. I loved Catherine with every fiber of my being. She was a kind soul. She tasted perfect. but I think you underestimate how long I've been on this dirty, forsaken rock. Good people are not rare and precious treasures. As such, they are not to be handled any different from the rest.
What?
And all this talk about worth. Do you mean some people are worth more than others simply because they are kind? What if from now on I only consume bad people? Or how about those in the lowest caste of society? Ruffians, rapists, thieves. It is easy to be kind when you are privileged. Those poor, unworthy souls. Surely no one would miss them. That make you feel better?
Rosa faltered. That's not what I'm saying.
That is exactly what you're saying. Gujem is mansplaining. You're telling me I shouldn't feed because there are good people out there that deserve better. So if they're bad, it is all right. How terribly judgmental of you.
No,
Every human being has a capacity for kindness or cruelty. Judge somebody on such a volatile detail, that is prejudice. After all, a kind man can mull the death of his fellow man no sooner than a criminal can turn a new leaf. Truth is, there are no good or bad people. There are just people. And I am not picky.
Achievement unlock. Kijam soliloquy. Stop saying that. You don't really believe that, do you? You hurt like me. You want acceptance like me. I know deep inside you want something more. More than a feeding or a craving. You've written as much as in your diary.
You sneaky little minx. Didn't I tell you you were not supposed to touch that?
Stop. Please stop this, Kijam. I implore you. Her pleading face stirred something in Kijam, but the callousness in his heart had decades to harden. He snorted.
Or what? What do you plan to do, little girl? Is this it? Is this your plan? Put on a light show and talk me to death. Surely you didn't think it would be that easy. If you have a different offer, I'm all ears. I thought as much. Well, good talk. Albeit a little pointless. I'm sure you'll agree.
Is that what you want to think of Catherine, then? Nothing but cattle? Kijam winced despite himself. I loved Catherine. I know you, too, loved her completely, whether you admit it or not. You can't take love without giving it, can you? Kijam sighed in annoyance.
Just another spoke in the old fun wheel.
You're lying if you say you're not the least bit troubled by your actions. That's a start, Kijam. The first step. It means you're not as cold as you want to appear.
I am absolutely as cool as I appear.
If you admit your guilt and take responsibility for her death. Kijam waved her away with an indifferent scoff. Excuse me.
I refuse. Her death was her own decision. I had no hand in that. She reaped what she sowed, and I collected. That is all.
With this validation, the assured smile came back to his lips. He shrugged.
Who knows? Maybe she could have gotten better over time. Most people bounce back from the loss of love. Or not. Who really knows? Is it my fault that she gave me everything? I didn't ask her to. Which was only fair. Like you said, I didn't hold back. It was an equal exchange.
Rosa's throat went dry.
Oh, love. Love is the strongest force in the world, but is never pure. Always tainted, always poisoned.
What are you talking about?
Well, I hate to shatter this vision you have of Catherine. She wasn't so righteous. She was as selfish as everyone else.
What?
Think back, Rosa. Did you really think her sister's death was a complete accident? Ooh, now we can figure out something. Wasn't it convenient?
Achievement unlocked. Amelie's fate.
Wasn't I convenient for little Miss Heredia? Yes, of course. Convenient and perfectly adequate. Sweet, boring, obliging Marquis de Gaulle. Wasn't he so easy to love? He could help her achieve her grand dreams, give her the good life that hovered just above her reach. After all, Guillaume didn't seem to have any plans of his own, did he? As if satisfied to exist only for her. Honestly, what a catch. What an impressive pedestal. Excuse me a moment. Turn this cold. How long has this video gone on, by the way?
A long time. After we
Okay.
finish this, I'm gonna... I mean, it's almost 11 anyway, so let's try and get through this as quickly as we can.
Even when the core of this love poisoned her, she made no attempts to leave. I wonder why. Now there's a question. Why indeed?
Because she had hope, Guillaume. She stayed hoping her feelings for you would return. That was how much she loved you. Guillaume scoffed.
How sweet of you to say. You really thought Catherine stayed with me just for love? Not at all because she was scared, insecure, comfortable.
Guillaume tapped his chin in mock contemplation.
Or maybe she just wanted so badly to be a Marquis's wife. Such a proud girl she was. Must she settle for anything less? That will show all the people who used to scorn and underestimate her. They who called her sister a whore, the ones who called her and her mother mad. That will show them.
Rosa took a shaky step back. Mother's words forced themselves into her head.
They're all the same. They're all selfish.
Rosa bit her lip. It is not true. I won't believe it. Catherine was a kind person.
So what? Does it matter? Does being kind justify selfishness? Does being kind even save anyone?
You are heartless.
Maybe, but I believe we're getting into a completely different franchise. It has been so long, I can't tell. Always the love of self is first, Rosa. I don't take it personally.
Shut up. Don't you ever get tired of justifying your hunger? So, Catherine wasn't perfect, yet you simply pass the blame. All just excuses. The truth is, you don't want to stop, do you? I think that's what he's been saying from like the very start, Rosa.
Yes.
You're no god, no higher being. You're nothing but a common vampire, a monster. Guillem's face twitched. Feeding on the love of people who love you. You must know how wrong that is. Guillem's fist shook visibly, but he kept his smile. His voice remained pleasant and calm.
So you compare me to a storybook monster now, Rosa? How insulting. But yes, it'd be easier if I dined off the blood, on blood, or flesh, or animals, or plants, like anything else on the planet. Something tangible, perhaps, something physical. Things would have been so much simpler. After all, if I drank blood, I wouldn't have to tangle with their lives.
He turned to Rosa, his eyes burning, and she could feel the heat in his stare.
I wouldn't have to be sane.
Guillem's voice shook with anger. She flinched.
You self-righteous minstrel. How dare you talk to me about guilt? How dare you call me a monster? Chastise me, singing songs of praise for the greater good. Have you ever tasted your own betrayal on the lips of the person you love? Do you know what it's like to strangle hope with your own hands? I look into their eyes and see them die from the inside out. Am I worth it? Am I worth all their lives? Never. But I do it again and again and again and again, just for the right to exist. You read my journal and act like you know me. You know nothing. I wish I was a monster. Maybe then I wouldn't have to feel.
The silence reigned between the two of them. Guillem's face went blank after his outburst, almost confused at the words that came out of his mouth. He forced his lips into a placated grin.
Pardon me, I didn't mean to shout.
He took a deep breath and refused to speak again. Rosa buried her face in her hands. He was right. She had come here with an overestimation of herself. Her ethics were the cries of a child. How could he listen to someone immersed only in her own tender ideals? If she wanted to help him, she had to know his pain. But what could she say? Her mind struggled with the words. They all sounded artificial in her head. All she could do was hold out her hand to reach him, couldn't she? She could offer him hope, a little warmth away from the chunk of ice beating inside of him. She approached him tentatively. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have spoken such hateful words. But don't you see? You don't have to endure this pain anymore. I'm offering you a different path, Guillem. Let me help you. He didn't speak nor move. Rosa held on to the pain she saw in his eyes a moment ago. It was her only hope. But if there was ever a trace of it in his face, It had flitted away before it took substance. His abject face contorted into a grin. He chuckled. Then his laughter filled the room, cold, bitter laughter that chilled her skin into a shiver. Rosa drew her hand away in fear.
You really don't get it, do you? I meant to say that is what makes it substantive. Substantive. I know words. I learned English and German hundreds of years ago. Thank you very much. It is precious.
What?
Make no mistakes, I endure all this not for something as silly or disposable as blood. Love. Love is worth all the pain. The best wine tastes like the drift from which it was exalted.
Rosa's mouth dropped in horror. She stepped away from him. A cold shiver passed her spine. No, 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 Guillaume! She stared at him, grasping at the flicker of hope that came as fast as it went. He had built a kingdom from the maze of his own heart. Both ruler and prisoner, both exalted and doomed. She could feel the cracks in his armor, the crumbling of a wall. He wanted to get out. Rosa thought she saw light in his darkness, a hand reaching out to be saved. But where was it now? Where was this hope? It was gone. Had it ever been there at all? Or did her desire to help him trick her into seeing what she wanted to see? Rosa bit her lip to steel herself.
Oh, don't look at me like that. I had the same morals as you when I was younger. But time smooths out our rough ideologies.
I was wrong. I thought I could still save you.
You are quite full of yourself if you think you can save people.
Guillaume took a step towards her, and Rosa's throat closed up. Get away from me.
I'm not going to hurt you, Rosa. If you wish to debate philosophy further, you can do so for 1,000 more years. But aren't we ignoring the single most potent truth? We found each other. So many souls running around this earth, and we actually managed to meet. Do you realize how momentous this is? I can give you love, Rosa. Forget Catherine or your mother. They are remnants of a bitter past. How long are you going to hang on to their memories anyway? Don't look so troubled, darling. Enough of such moody, sentimental topics. They bore me. Instead, why don't we start thinking about possibilities?
Guillaume, please. She was still bent on changing his mind, but Guillaume could tell her resolve had all but fizzled out.
Oh, again, you still haven't given up? I'll admit, you have some spirit. It's admirable that you go to such lengths for me. I mean it when I say I'm honored. But you are so naive. Tragedy is everybody's friend, Rosa. If you stay with him too long, his smell will linger on your skin. I don't care much for tragedies myself. I am more interested in opportunities. And what we have right now is a dawning, a new beginning.
Guillaume stepped closer to Rosa, touching her cheek with his palm. Rosa was afraid, but she didn't make any attempts to run away this time.
Aren't you glad you found me? You're not alone anymore. You don't have to hide and cower to subject yourself to the motions of this cruel life. Enough of this fascination for glorified sacrifice. Come with me.
Rosa stared up at him. What?
Komm mit mich, Rosa.
He repeated his words with a cheerful smile.
And in German. Let us leave this place and go far away. Start over. Doesn't that sound grand? It's about time you let go of the bad memories and face something new. I'm sure there's all sorts of other older women that can abuse you emotionally for years at a time. Don't you think you owe yourself that much?
And what are the victims you will continue to take, Guillaume? What about them?
What about them? I care little for strangers. It is you I want to make happy, Rosa. Please let me. I need you as much as you need me.
Rosa bit her lip. Mother? I need you right now. Please let me hear your voice. She struggled with the pain in her heart. She was free falling.
Floated that boat off to... Man, I don't even know. It's getting late.
Mother. To hear her mother's voice. She had always been on the ground she stood on, but the pain on her bare feet, both the pain in her bare feet and a place to stand. Whether she walked or chose to fly out, that ground would be there when she landed. Such was the role of family.
You've gone this far, darling. I trust in you. Whatever you decide, I will always be here. Like I have always been.
Rosa's jaw clenched. She tasted the caustic realization in her mouth.
Eh? Rosa?
And that was when he felt an icy pain shoot through his chest. He looked down. There was a knife sticking out of him. It was a dagger from his bedside.
Little thief.
He whispered as the wind got knocked out of him. I'm sorry. Achievement unlocked, little thief. The blade clattered to the floor. Rosa's lip quivered. But I have to make this right. Guillaume's body lost all strength. He slumped on the floor, blood staining his shirt red. He just laughed in amusement.
Oh, you stupid bitch. So this is your response to my generous offer? How trifling. I expect better from you.
Guillaume winced in pain.
It's been a while since I was stabbed.
She knelt beside him. She didn't speak at once. That wound will not heal like the others, Guillaume.
Oh?
I must end it here. For Catherine, for Mother, for all your victims, for you. I have to do the right thing. She said this out loud, but she only half believed it. The right thing, Was there such a thing? Rosa reveled in this confusion. The least she could do was carry the burden of her choices for the rest of her life instead of forgetting. She had considered simply leaving him, unchanged and a prisoner of his own twisted ideals. She still could. If she reversed the spell now and allowed him to heal, then he would survive. Young, powerful, and healthy, but unchanged and carrying the same shadow in his heart. But she had tried, hadn't she? Whatever he did next would be none of her concern. There was a pinch in Rosa's chest. But to know that she had doomed him to make the same mistakes forever, to stop caring about him and degrade him into nothing but a failure, it seemed crueler somehow. It would make her like him. Guillaume sat up wordlessly, his back pressed on the wall. His pain was different. The blood hadn't stopped leaking from his chest. He coughed and liquid flooded his lungs. It was getting harder to breathe. A part of him wanted to ask how she had found a way to kill him. It seemed quite pointless now, a waste of precious breath. He sat there bleeding, willing himself to anger. He thought of threatening her, demanding her to do something, but he didn't. He was surprised to find something else in his heart.
A knife.
Gratitude, of all things. Rosa held Guillaume's hand as the blood continued to pour out of his wound. Dimly, Guillaume reflected that she really did have spirit. The courage to do what he could not. He used the last of his strength to lift up his hand and wipe away her tears.
Don't cry. I'm fine with this.
His hand lingered on her face for a while. He searched his heart for anger, for bitterness for this girl, but there was none. How curious it was to feel steel in his heart and yet no hate for its wielder. How curious it was to know that this was all an act of love. Rosa, you are an anomaly. You confuse me. Maybe if he had listened, would he have? Maybe she was right. He could change. But it was too late for him, wasn't it? It had been too late for him decades ago. Long after he had degraded life, included his own, as pointless and petty. That was the only regret.
I wish we had met sooner.
He took a deep breath. The pain in his chest throbbed with every breath. Still, it was only a distant buzzing in his mind. The pain was simply white noise. Rosa held his hand tighter. I am sorry,
Apologizing again. Thought I made myself clear with that.
Guillaume coughed and tasted metal in his mouth. He chuckled and waved it away.
Honestly, this could have been much worse. Rosa, I mean, it's never strong enough to endure this life. But it looks like you are. That's good. Stay with me for a while, won't you? Please.
Yes, Guillaume.
Take my journal with you. Might help. I would still wish for you to start anew. Board the ship. Papers. Take the money in my office. Use it to build a new life.
Guillaume coughed out red flecks of blood. He swallowed, and his throat felt like it was on fire. He had a lot more to say, a lot more to tell her. He tried to speak as clearly as he could, despite the bulge climbing up his windpipe.
Avoid the small towns. They don't take the strangers kindly. Stick out like a sore thumb. Always present yourself as nobility or a person of influence. Give people another reason to think you're desirable. Otherwise, they will fear, hate, confused by their own urges.
His breathing was getting erratic.
I'll sort of remember.
Rosa leaned over and kissed Guillem's lips to stop him from speaking. They were cold now, but they were still sweet, laced with a salty taste of blood. She remembered the taste of them in her mouth from the first time she had met him. The way he had filled her with a sweetness so strong that her mouth had watered. The taste had never left her throughout the years that had passed. Perhaps it never would. How could something so corrupt be so sweet? Rosa touched his face and fresh tears fell from her eye. How could something so beautiful be so ugly? Achievement unlocked. Love is bittersweet. I love you, Guillem. He was her poison. She would remember him only with regret. Love and pain mixed with water and salt. But she would remember. I love you. Achievement unlocked. Poison and cure. She whispered, but Guillem didn't seem to hear. His eyes were closed now, and every breath seemed shorter than the last. Death gave the heart a final gift of bliss. He savored this.
Thank you, Rosa.
The two of them crouched alone in a corner, cherishing each other's warmth for as long as it lasted. The candle's wick expired, and the room was plunged into darkness.
Darling.
Yes, Mother?
I know it was hard.
Mother didn't sound spiteful or on edge this time. She was simply serene. Rosa got up, looking down at him one last time. Mother, I cannot get rid of the feeling that I should have done things differently. Should I have done more? Should I have sacrificed more? Achievement unlocked. Played again.
Thanks.
Tears once
Thanks,
again
game.
stung her eye. I wish I could turn back time and change something. Anything. I feel so powerless.
Should I break the fourth wall? I understand. Loss will always hurt, my darling. It makes us vulnerable. But you must know that changing things does not guarantee happiness. Do you understand?
Yes.
Oh, my darling, I wish I was there to hold you. What are you going to do now?
I don't know.
Whichever direction you head, I will be with you.
I know you will, Mother. Your presence saved me, as it always does. You reminded me that nothing lost should be thrown away. Catherine, Guillem, and you will always be with me. I am not alone.
I am proud of you, my beautiful daughter.
The first rays of light slipped past the window and touched her face. Rosa left the room to welcome the dawn. Achievement unlocked. Closure. And I'm guessing that is the end. Ending 2, Dawning. Well, we got the ending 2, which was the one we had trouble finding, which means that the first ending is now open to us, which means we probably have that chance to save him now. Let's see what the end says. You loved Rosa despite your main purpose is justice. You loved Rosa despite your misgivings. You left Guillem's locket closed. You told Rosa that family is the most important thing. You convinced Rosa that Catherine was selfish. You made Rosa steal Guillem's dagger. You didn't believe Guillem could change. You admitted that killing Guillem might not be the only answer. Ooh, what way? I'm probably gonna.
And then he fired, and then he missed. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
The king's just standing there like, guess I'll let you guys deal with this.
Whoa.
That is tough.
He did not like me for doing what I did there.
No.
Hello everyone, I completely forgot to do an intro last time, but that doesn't matter because intros don't matter.